Hello, everybody. We have another guest coming on. I'm really excited. Thank you guys so much. We're going to start in a few minutes. Just trying to get everything going. Oh, there we go. All right, as we're adding in my guest, hello. How are you?
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. I'm super excited.
Well, I'm going to wait one more minute because I started a little early. I just want to get on because the technology stuff, I'm still getting used to it.
No worries. Full disclosure, I'm hiding in the coolest old church. I have to be like, it's now converted into a theater and it's so cool. So I want to move in.
Oh wow, I'm sure if you guys don't know, Ashley is amazing. She's on vacation and she's doing this for me, guys. So I'm so thankful for her to just take the time out. And if you guys
Absolutely.
don't follow her, because she does some amazing stuff, but we're gonna talk about that in a minute. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. I'm Inel with Pals Consultant. We are in day 3 of the Parenting Tenant Challenge, and I have today with me Miss Ashleighs Tolliver. I said it right. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and just get right into it. She's a messy bun, yoga pants enthusiast mom who admittedly does not have it all together, right? She
So
lives she lives the life of an overly tired, underpaid personal assistant to her 7-year-old twins with sensory processing disorder, ADHD, and anxiety. And with these extra traits, she sparked the blog and a podcast that she has called Parenting That Kid, which is amazing. You guys have to check it out. And of course, I'm just going to throw this out there. She also has an ebook, and it's called, if I'm saying it right, 29 at-home adventures supporting ADHD, anxiety, and sensory processing disorder. Truth at Mission is an ebook that's for all kids to empower them to thrive, learn, and play. So you have a lot. You are offering a lot. This is amazing. This is why I have you on today.
thank you. Thank you. I'm
So
so excited.
I'm going to go on and just start right and ask you. So can you tell the families a little bit about you? Just give them a little
Yeah.
background. And then also with that, I'm going to throw out there, tell them one challenge it is to have twins with ADHD and all the stuff you got going on. Go for it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that the challenge is the challenge of having twins. But so I'm a mom of 2, like you said, and when my kids were like 3 and a half, almost 4, I just knew something was off with my son. He was my trigger point to start investigating life, his larger than life everything. That's the best way to put it, right? Emotions, feelings, energy, focus, or lack thereof. Right? Everything was just extreme. And then I had a sister to compare him against, lucky me. And I just knew something wasn't right, something was off. But I knew I didn't know where to start, right? Google is the World Wide Web, and it just took me down multiple paths and multiple avenues. And so I decided, well, if I can't find anything, I'm going to find it on my own. That's where I started a podcast about interview professionals who work with kids that don't fit into the box. And from there, it's just spiraled into so much more. I have learned so much more, and I found what worked for my kids. And I thought, well, if I find what works for my kids, I'm going to share that so other moms aren't walking this life of like unknown what to do. And that's what the podcast is about. And then I have this activity book, like you said, that's really tools that you can use at home. And they're easy, they're simple. You don't have to buy all these massive products to quote unquote fix the problem. It's really just things for yourself at home for those in-between moments when it's really, really tough, really tough with your kids. So in doing that, I learned that my daughter also has ADHD. So we thought, well, one, okay, we got it. Oh, we both, okay. And then we learned that we have sensory processing disorder and anxiety. So we have like a hodgepodge mess of stuff happening at my house. And I have learned so much. I'm a nurse by trade, and the nurse in me is just like research. And so I just knew I had to find answers and have to share what I find. And so that's what all this stemmed from.
This is amazing. And if you guys, we're going to talk more about that after. So we're just going to dive right into, you mentioned you just found out that and I feel like it's echoing. If it is, I'm sorry. But you just found out that your daughter is not has ADHD, correct?
So
So
we
can
found
you
out for
tell?
her, she was like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, and I was just going to say, but it just presents very differently than my son. And so I think that's why it took us a little bit longer to kind of pinpoint each of them, because it's so different looking in every child.
And that's exactly what leads into my next question. Can you kind of give some signs and some symptoms or red flags that may say something's not right here?
Yeah, so I told you my son, right? Everything's just like, ah! Really, it just makes you want to pull your hair out. And along with that was the sensory processing that came with that. And those generally go hand in hand with ADHD, because it was just, he couldn't handle what life was throwing at him or asking him to do. For my daughter, it was the typical signs of moving all over, not being able to focus on one task. Oh my gosh, her organization is lack thereof. Her bedroom was like a bomb went off in there. Chitter chatter, blah, 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 blah. Can't keep a train of thought. Just what people will go, oh, ADHD, that was her. But we were so focused on his really big everything that we kind of overlooked hers. And so, and you know, as this mom, I'm just like, I'm going to figure it out for her too. So hers was the typical signs: hyperactive, unable to focus. Gosh, one thing that I didn't realize though was eat, constantly needing to eat, constantly. And she's not overweight. She's like a super active kid. So ADHD children mostly are, right? They burn everything they put in them. Not able to focus things or put things in categories or prioritize things. It just, her brain can't go from here to here to here to here. The typical things for her. Him, it was these larger than life emotions, and everything felt heavy with him. Heavy no's, heavy yeses, heavy physical actions, heavy just internal emotional responses to the world. It was just so much. And he is a chitterbox as well. So that was my thing. And he is not the scatterbrain, though, that I think of when I think of my daughter, how she's all over the place. He can hyper focus, and I don't think people realize that ADHD, you can really hyper focus on something. So when he loves something, he loves it. He does it. It's part of it. And he's gonna full force it. So very opposite ends. But this ebook that I created is really stuff that works for both, which is why I love this book, because it's activities that regulate the body, puts the body back in its center point, whichever way the body's leaning. It's just a way to pull you back to who you are.
And I like what you brought up too. A lot of people can see when you have a child with ADHD, I do know personally myself as well, there's also some coexisting conditions as well. So it kind of can look like, you know, oh no, they don't have, it's fine. But then you're like, oh. And that's why I love your book. And that's going to bring me to our very last question, because we want to do this hopefully in 10 minutes or less. But this brings me into your ebook. So in your ebook, you did mention there's some good resources out there and things out there. And I know in my Parenting in 10 Challenge workbook, if you guys haven't got a chance, please download it. I put something in about heavy works. Can you kind of touch on heavy works and kind of tell about your ebook as well, to get some resources to help these parents?
Absolutely.
If they finally
I thrive on heavy work. I think everybody needs to start doing this intentionally. You do it unintentionally all the time, but I think you need to intentionally add this to your day as an adult, and I definitely think you need to add it to your kids' days. It's called a sensory diet. So you actually add this into their day, the diet of the day, whatever their activities are. Heavy work is anything that is heavy. If you think about it, it's pushing things, it's pulling things, it's like pushing up things, it's pushing down on things, it's swimming through the water where you're having to literally resist something. It's resisting against your joints, all joints, little, big, like shoulder big, all of those kind of things. It is anything that's heavy that your child has to do. And that heavy work releases like a serotonin in your body, which is our happy chemical that we really want. And you have little neurons in your all joints. And when you do that heavy work, you're releasing that serotonin in those joints. And then of course it rushes through the body, and the kids, well, adults, everybody who does it feels amazing afterwards, because they're bringing happy stuff to us. It's kind of like eating turkey at Thanksgiving. You eat that turkey and you're like, oh,
feels so good.
Yeah. So it's like that for them. But for kids, it's a great thing to put in action when they're having those big moments, or those inability to focus or slow their bodies down, or their attitudes are just like, wow. And it's a good thing to calm them down. It really helps, I think, before bedtime. We do a lot of heavy work, and not like running kind of thing, right? Nothing that exerts more energy, but like simply, I just have my kids push against my hands, right? We're gonna just push against each other, or go push against the wall, or they stick their legs up in the air and I kind of push down on their feet, kind of things like that. I do joint compressions, where I just kind of squeeze all joints a little bit tight, and I say, hey, push against me, you know, resist that a little bit. And so that'll help them at night calm down. But if you do it throughout the day, and if you do it in 15-minute for about 15 minutes, you can get about an hour and a half to 2 hours of a regulated, balanced body. So that's why I say you need to add this into your day. So when they're at school, like go to recess, or when you're going to the bathroom, your kids are going to the bathroom, make them hop, skip, I don't know, get to the bathroom, push again against the wall, something that's quote unquote heavy. That resistance is so important. And that's what this book is, right? It's 29 activities with resistance. And I will add, and breathing, because breathing is so valuable. Oxygen is free. It's everywhere. It's the best medicine we have because it's always there and our body thrives on it. So I have activities in there on how to really support your child taking deep breaths and like having those, right? Increase of oxygen out O2 kind of thing, so that you can calm your body back down. So the two of those together, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how many times we've been like, oh, thank goodness we have that tool.
And you know, it's funny because I've told you this before. When a child who has ADHD, this is always my saying, when I can't stop moving, keep me moving.
Yeah.
And people are like, what? I want them to stop. But no, you want to keep them moving. Like, that's what you want. And you gave some great examples. Like, I love that. You're keeping them moving by the pushing of the hand, doing those little, they're moving, but they're getting in tune with their body. They're calming down. So I love that.
It's movement that's with intent, right? You're right. You might not want them to keep them squirming like this the whole time. You want them to move with intent for their body. So it's working for their body and with their body, not against their body.
I love it. So can you kind of tell real quick where they can get this ebook from? And of course, after this, I'm going to post it on the replay so that they can go ahead on and check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can go onto my website, parentingthatkid.com, and it's under resources. I also have like free resources of heavy work activity as well. The ebook though has a lot of, it's just more fun things. It's like activities for the day. Like summer is coming up and it's hot outside. You don't go outside. There's some fun app ones. But I also have 15 free ones that are just quick on the go ones. And then, so you can go on there. I would encourage anybody to just hop on there and join my email list, because I send out freebie tips and ideas and information and all of that. One thing we use in our house, and I actually have it with me, and I take it almost everywhere, is this like big rubber band that my kids, I hook on the bottom of their chairs and they push it, right? Keeps us at dinner time, like we're all together. So I encourage people to get those. And I'm happy, jump on my website, parentingthatkid.com. You can join my email and I can share on how to get all of those and like just really put it to use. And I think that's the other thing I tell people. You might not understand where to use this or when or how, so reach out to me. Like, you don't just have the same, now what? I'm the tool as well to help you, because I've been there, I understand, and I don't want other parents to feel so lost and lonely in that process.
And that's what Pals Consultants is about, is really being there to support other parents. Why? Because we're here, we're doing it. And so I appreciate you so much for coming on. I'm going to put your information down so they can contact you. Be there. You may get a few people. So this is exciting. I appreciate you taking time on your vacation. Thank you so much. You guys say goodbye to Miss Ashleigh. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys can also find me real quick on Instagram and Facebook, right? That's really easy. That's the way the world works these days. So it's just Ashleigh Tolliver, and then that's an easy one if you're like, what? I don't want to do email. Go ahead, hop on there and ask me questions. I love it all.
Okay, so I'm definitely going to put that information down so they can know where to contact you.
Perfect.
All right, thank you.
Bye. Have a great night.
Bye. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We have one more night of our guests coming in for our Parenting at 10 challenge. I'm super excited about this. If those who came in late, we talked about ADHD and we talked about some tools and tips. Miss Ashleigh Tolliver actually has twins who have ADHD. She actually has an ebook out that helps and gives you tools and tips and tricks to help you at home. So I'm going to make sure I put all her information down on this page. So if you missed it, you can go back and contact her, catch the replay. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back here tomorrow night, 7 Central Standard Time, with our next guest. I'm excited. Thank you so much for tuning in. And if you haven't yet, please go ahead and hit the link as well. Download that Parenting in 10 Challenge workbook. And I appreciate you guys so much. And of course, as always, you got this. Talk to you guys later. See you tomorrow.